Okay, there we go. All right, so welcome to WordPress 101. We're going to do a look at the back office. Before we get started, is there anything specifically that you've got a question on that you want me to make sure I cover?
How do you get started with it?
Okay,
Is WordPress kind of considered the platform to be on, especially for like a public relations type of person?
WordPress is considered the platform to be on if you want to be seen in the search engines, if you want the capacity to do just about anything, if you want to control your website, there are fewer restrictions on WordPress. WordPress is open source software, which means there are developers all over the world who go in and tweak and can work on WordPress. But
Okay.
that means that you can control it all you want. You know, like when you're on a GoDaddy or a Wix or a Weebly kind of thing, they have certain restrictions on what you can do, right? Because you can only do what they've provided.
Right.
On WordPress, you know, not only are there all kinds of developers out there providing solutions, you can reach out to some of them and go, hey, yeah, I need help. Or any kind of programmer, a lot of them can go into the code that's on your website and make modifications.
Okay.
You can be completely in control of it. Whereas you can't go in the back of the actual code on GoDaddy and make changes,
Okay.
but you can on WordPress. So, all right. So, Donna, like, how do you get started?
Mhm.
So, I am going to kind of mute you guys. I am going to share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to share the back office of my MirelliETC.com website. I also might share the back office of AmazingSpeaks.com. Okay. So give me a moment to jump to there. And I'm just going to mute you guys right now.
Okay.
But keep track of your questions, right? If we're going along and there's questions, you can put them down in chat. Do you see where chat is over here? Do you see the chat over on, should be on your right-hand side kind of thing? So you can throw questions in there. I might be able to see them, maybe not when my screen gets shared, but I'll come back to any questions that you put there. So, all right, let's share my screen. All right, let's see here. All right, it says it's sharing, but I don't see it. Oh, are you seeing it? I think so. All right, good. All right, so this is the back office of a WordPress website. Okay, so Donna, to kind of answer your questions about how to get started, this is kind of what I've already done. By the time you get to this back office, okay, you have purchased a domain name, you have set up hosting. Now I use Bluehost for hosting, and anyone in Mirelli can host on Bluehost for free, you know, because I've got an unlimited hosting package. So at this point, you have bought a domain name, you have pointed your domain name to a host, and you have uploaded the base of WordPress software. Okay, I'm not going to go through that piece because I need a new domain name to show you that. But once you get into the back office of WordPress, this is what your dashboard looks like. Okay. Now mine, because Mirelli is an active site and I've been with it for 4 years, I have a lot of additional things over here in the dashboard that you won't see initially. Okay. So I'm going to very quickly see if I can jump over here to Amazing Speaks and show you. I've only been on that website for what, like 8 months. So you'll see the dashboard is much less crowded. So let's see if it will let me go over there. Yeah, okay, so this is Amazing Speaks, and you can see that there's not as much over here on Amazing Speaks. There's still a lot, but I'm going to walk you through the dashboard. So I'm back to Mirelli. This is hosting information. You don't have to worry about that. But going down, the very first thing, when you first get into WordPress, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go down to Appearance, right here, Appearance, okay? So Appearance is how you decide what it looks like. When you first get in, it's just going to be a blank page that says new site coming soon. That's all it says. Okay. And so you don't want to just be a new site coming soon. You want to choose a theme. So you'll go down to Appearance and you'll go to Themes. Now, before you start a website at all, you need to think a little bit about what do you want it to look like? What attracts you to websites? So this is where WordPress themes are. Now, there are paid themes and there are free themes. There are hundreds of free themes. You can find a free theme that will do almost anything you want. But you can pay developers for very specific themes, okay? But so here on, yeah, I do landing pages, but I don't need that. So here you can look for installed themes, or you can do a search over here. Shoot, all right, I don't know how, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. The Zoom boxes are covering up some of the stuff I want to do on my page. It's like, oh, let's see here. How do I get rid of these? Let me see. But so these are just themes that I've installed at times, and you can say add new theme, like if you don't like any of those. And it's going to give you how you can search, right? So you can look for featured, popular, latest, or you can go over here into the search themes and just what would, some words that you would like, like if you wanted to, for media, maybe, are there any themes that they specifically mention that it's good for media? And I don't know, I just did it, but okay, so here are some that, there's one that's actually called media, right? Blog building, remedial, the Royal Blog, Curver. But on each one, so you kind of look at some of the things you want to look for, right? Is like this one has, before you can, let's look at the details. These aren't always the best. Sometimes you want to look at this, but so this one, it starts with it, look at above. This is called the header up here where it says remedial. So this has, you can have a header, things and things, and then the menu goes right here. Then it has a, go back to the theme previews. I never like any of them. I'll just tell you now. Let's go back. So this one just really, it really doesn't show you a lot Like this one has a background. It doesn't have the same kind of header kind of thing. It looks like you can call out more like articles. This one here on Curver, notice it's going to, because you're not going to be able to change the what I want to say, the elements, right? So there's going to be a black bar. Well, you can probably change the color, but there's going to be a bar across the top. If you do social media icons, they're going to be there. Yeah, this is where you would put the name of your site. The menu is down here, you know, and then it's got not a full page slider. Now you've got something down here, like this one, you know, it has a small at the top, like call outs. Then your logo would be there, and then it has the big slider, right? So you just kind of go through like this is a much bigger photo. Like if you're, you know, if you think for your site, you want like a big featured photo, and then it looks like it's got sections down here. Let's take a look at the preview. You know, so it's got a huge big thing. It's got a little up there, and it looks like you can do call out sections on a thing. Now, you want to read the description of the theme, right? A couple things that you want to make sure of. You know, this one's multi-purpose medical, so they are intending it. So all the themes that are inside of this one, all the elements that they've provided for you are going to be medical related. You know, they're going to have some stock photos or some clip art or that kind of thing. So this may or may not be something you want to do. But let's see here. It, you know, they tell you it's really from medical professionals. They say things like right here, it is fully responsive, right? You want a fully responsive theme. And what does that mean? That means that this theme will automatically redesign itself for any device, right? So when it's fully responsive, it will show up on a phone, it will show up on a tablet, it'll show up on a computer, and it will keep all the elements together, right? I mean, it will rearrange itself without you doing anything when they're fully responsive. It says that it is cross-browser compatible. That means it's going to look the same on Chrome and Safari and what's the new Explorer or any of the different browsers, which also means on like Android or iPhones that it's going to look the same, right? When it's browser compatible. Translation ready, that means it's got some in the background that you can do different languages. It already has vocabulary in different languages set up. SEO friendly and social media integration. So they already in the programming have ways that you can just plug in what your social media is, and there's nothing that you have to do special about it. Okay. There's the demo. And let's see here. So, you know, so you want to read over the description and make sure that it says it's responsive. Browser compatibility is good. SEO friendly is good. Social media icon compatibility is good. Okay, but you know, you're just going to look at the different themes and, you know, see which one you might want to play with. Now, the great thing about these themes, now, I don't want to, actually, I'm not going to do it on Mirelli. I will do it over here on Amazing Speaks. Let me go to appearances and themes. And the only reason I'm switching over to Amazing Speaks is because I've got too much on Mirelli that if this experiment doesn't go well, you know, I don't want to do it. But let's just say, and this one right now that I'm using on Amazing Speaks, where'd it go? This It's called Event Star by Acme Themes. This is a great theme. It's really easy to use. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's probably one of the easiest themes I've ever worked on as far as customizing. So really, really like that one. But let's just say that I wanted to change what Mirelli or what Amazing Speaks look like. On all of these themes, they have a thing down here called Live Preview. Okay. And so even without installing it, you can live preview. And what it should do is take what's on your current website and, kind of put it in the new theme. So let's see what happens. Let's see what Amazing Speaks might look like if I change themes, right? And it's thinking, it's redesigning stuff. So, well, let's see what it looks like. And see, it just brought my photo over. It now, it's changed the top a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, I think as doing video and then asking it to do this, it's just taking a lot of bandwidth, so it's slow. Oh, my little join now jumped up over here. I think because it's live streaming, it's just not going to cooperate very well. Well, it's still loading stuff, but yeah. But anyway, so you can use live preview and see what it might look like on the different themes once you get started. But as long as you don't activate it, you just go right back to where you were. But let's just say that you do want to, you choose a theme, you want to do something. So what you're going to do is when you choose it, you're going to hit customize. And every theme is going to be a little bit different in the customize, right? They're going to give you different options on what you can customize. But there are some basics. Let's see if it'll get in here. You are customizing. Come on. All right. So this is where you're going to start to build the website, right? This is in the customize under your theme. So the first thing is going to be your home page. Like, what do you want the very first page when someone, comes to your site? What's on your home page? So for this particular theme, you can choose what's displayed, right? You can either do a static page, which means you can create your own page, or you can do just latest posts. So if you're doing this more as a blog, then you want your homepage to show your latest posts from your blog, okay? I'm creating this more as a website, and the blog is just a component of it. It's not my first page. So I chose a static page, and then it's like, well, what page? I created a page called front page, and I'll get to it in just a second. So, that's pretty much it's like, what do you want on the different pages? So you would go back to your main dashboard and go to pages. And I can't remember if I called mine homepage or front page for some reason. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find, right here's my front page. So, and these are pages that I've built. When you first get in there, there's going to be one sample page, right? And so those were all pages that, you know, I've added. But your very first page, let's see if it'll open up here. Okay, so this is how your page looks, right? So it's like, welcome to the world of blocks. Very similar to, I mean, WordPress does blocks. So I don't want to work on this page necessarily, but let's go back. You know what? I'm going to add a new page so I can play around with it and show you. Because I don't want to mess with that page because that's my home page and I don't want to like put new things on it for you. But let's go to a new page. Slow, slow. Okay, so what you would do is you can just start whatever. But you can, up here, you can add a block. And so, you know, the different blocks they have, you can do a paragraph, you can do a heading, like this is how you would name your page, right? So let's do a heading, and it's like, I'm just going to do the new page, right? And then over here, you can choose, you know, how big you want it. Is this, why won't it let me do the whole thing? Over here, or it can be 2, or it can be 1. So you can change the size, you can change if it's, you know, maybe I want it centered, you know, what do I want to do? And then I'm going to add a paragraph. So it's like, this is a new page. I will share awesome stuff, right? And hopefully spell right. You know, but once you know, and then you can play around with, you can make it bold, you can make it italic. You know, you can look at different options. You can edit as HTML. So if you want to, you know, special coding kind of stuff you can put in. So, you know, you can play around with stuff. And then let's say you want to add a picture. Sorry, I don't know what I hit. And then I want to add a picture. Whoops. I was hitting too many things. Sorry. I don't know if it'll let me go back to that page or not. Nope. Yeah, I'm clicking too fast and it's going too slow because it's live streaming. So, oops, sorry. All right, so there I'm back. You know, so then maybe you add a image. Okay, and then from the image, you can insert it from somewhere on the web, you can go to your library, or you can upload it from your computer, right? I'm just going to go to my library. These are all images that I've already uploaded, you know, used on another page somewhere. You know, and I'm going to use the lovely Michelle for whatever reason. Like, I want her picture. And there she is, right? And then you can adjust the size of the photo. You know, whoops, where'd it go? You know, and up here, you know, you can center it. Then there's other options. So you just play around. So you create your pages, okay? And so you're going to want to create your home page, your about page, your products page, you know, anything like that. Those are pages, okay? Now, so you're going to create your list of pages, whatever they are. And then when you go back to your appearance and you customize, oh, I didn't save it or publish it. Sorry, I could have. But you can save it as a draft or you can, you know, publish it. But then when you're back to your home page or back to your customizing menu, come on, it's slow. And you go to home page settings. Let's say that the page that I just created, that I wanted to do that on the home page versus the one that I have. Instead of the front page, I would change it to, you know, these are all the different pages. So that new page would be listed, and if I had saved it, it would be in here and so I could make that my front page. Okay, but I'm keeping it as it is. And oh, down here, and this is on the homepage settings, it shows you, you can do options here to show you what your website would look like on the phone, on a tablet, and on the computer. Yeah, so you can kind of see how your things are lining up. All right, so the home page is pretty simple. Site identity, this is you know, how you're going to identify your site. And so this is, you know, if you want a tagline, I mean, you can put just the site title up there and a tagline, or, you know, I chose to use a logo. You know, you can display a logo or a title or a tagline, you know, so there's different options, and they tell you the size that if you wanted to do different things that, you know, each page in the customization will give you kind of an idea of what you can do. Here's the header options. You know, do you want the header at the top? Where do you want your menu? You know, do you want to put some sort of special menu up in here? I don't. I have it disabled. But you know, you could say, no, I want, you know, a booking form. So this kind of comes with you know, some different widgets, which we'll talk about in a minute, so that I could have something up here in the editor, like a special offer or whatever. I have it disabled at the moment, or you could put a link to somewhere up here in the header. I have it disabled, but you know, but they give you options. The header image, you know, I have this right here. They're calling this a header because this is not a slider. This is an image. You know, that's what I've got, but I could change this photo anywhere if I wanted. And then pop-up widgets. Let me see, do I have any? Okay, I don't have any pop-ups going, but this theme allows me to have pop-ups. So when someone's on my site, you know what a pop-up is. You know, the thing will pop up and say, hey, subscribe to this, or, you know, this thing's coming up or whatever. I don't have any of them on at the moment, but you would add it as a widget. And I'm going to show you widgets and plugins here in a minute. So those are the options that you have. Now, like I said, not every theme has the same options. I'm just going through this one. But let's see. Then featured section. Now, one of the reasons why I liked this theme is because they had these featured sections. So each one of these is a section. Okay. Let me just pop over real quick to look at Mirelli. And if I go to customize on the Mirelli theme, because it also has sections, but the sections are different. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. It's getting there, it's getting there. All right, so as you can see on the Mirelli theme, which is a tempura, you know, we've got the site identity. I can choose different colors, a different header image, background image, menus, widget, homepage, has an event calendar. Yeah, so I mean, it's different, but their sections, let me see here, they're probably in the homepage. Let's see. Nope, wasn't in homepage. But they also have a sections area that you can set up. It's maybe down here. Okay, so they actually have a different little section that you go to completely to set up the different things on that. Like they have a way you can have these messages. See, I have a slider on this one that, you know, the images change and then these messages change, which I don't have on Amazing Speaks. So, you know, I mean, it really depends on your theme. And you really just go in there and go like section by section by section and figure out, you know, what you want to do. Now, one great tip for all of these different themes is a lot of them will have something called demo, like a demo file. And I highly suggest that when you choose your theme, if they've got a demo file, download the demo file. Because basically what the demo file is will give you an already done website that you can just go in and make changes to versus starting from scratch at the appearance. You can go into, and they have the demo file, you can actually go into an already done website and just, you know, switch things out. So when they have the demo file, those are good. You know, the first time or so when I opened up a demo file, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like you know, did I just completely put in a brand new website? And it was like, oh, it was so much easier to kind of pick and choose and make changes. So, so you're going to spend a lot of time on the appearance, right? So, you know, first thing you're going to do is the theme, and then you're going to customize. And then part of the customization is you're going to create pages, right? Wherever the pages are, right here. And like I said, you know, to start off, you want to probably do your home page, an about page, products and services page, and probably a contact form, right? A contact us page. And again, depending on your theme, let's go to pages here for a sec. Well, actually, we'll go to the site. And when you're in your back office, if you want to see what your site is looking like, you can just go right up here to visit site, and it'll go to your site. You know, go to like visitor facing site. So let me see here, contact us. I can't remember what I did on my contact us page, so I'm just pulling it up real quick. Okay, so I just have a standard form here. Yeah, I'm looking at it going, you know what, I should make some changes because I really should put my phone number on there. But you know, this form that's on here, this is just part of the theme. The theme has standard forms, and I just added the form on there. So I didn't do anything fancy there, and maybe I should have, but I didn't. But when you have signed into your back office and you go to visit any page, you can go right here and edit that page. You don't have to go back to the dashboard. See right here, the edit page. So you can very quickly get to, because sometimes, I mean, for me, like Mirelli has over 200 pages now. So I don't always remember what I called the page, but if I can find it on the actual site, then here's a really easy way to get in to edit it. Just thought. But let's go back to the dashboard. But yeah, so you probably want an about, product, services, a contact, and a home page. Probably the minimum pages that you want. All right, so, and here's your media. Like if you want to, when you first get started, if you know there are certain photos that you're going to want in your library, you'll just go to media, go to add new, and you can just upload your pictures, right? So you can actually create your file of photos that you're going to use throughout your website. Just, you know, you can add them. I mean, you can add them on each page, or you can just put them in the library and then use them, you know, however you're going to throughout. So you can use them on your blog posts, you can use them on pages, you can, you know, you can create your library. There's where your pages are. Comments will only, you can turn them off or turn them on, and I think I'll show you that in a minute. You know, I always leave comments on for blog posts, right? Because that's one of the way you get interaction. And I usually turn them off on most of the pages. Feedback. So there's some different things, but let's go back down to appearance. Okay, so once you have picked your theme and you're customizing it, where did it go? The next thing that you might want to consider, and again, it really depends on your theme, are widgets. So what are widgets? Widgets are little pieces of code that add functionality to your website. Okay, so here are pretty standard widgets. Here they are. And again, every theme will have some variations, but these are pretty standard, right? Like you can have archives. If you, you know, if you want to archive some articles or, you know, previous specials or even old blog posts or whatever, you can actually activate this widget. And how you activate a widget is you just drag it over here to activation. Okay, so if I left it right there, now on my home page and on different pages, I would have a section that I can put archives in. I'm not going to keep it active, but go back over here. You know, you can do blogs. You can create a calendar. You know, like if I wanted to put a calendar somewhere on Mirelli that says here's all of our activities, kind of thing, I could use a widget to add a calendar to any of my pages. Okay, I can put in categories. I can. Let's see here. Custom URL is always good to know that there's custom URL, because that's how you can have a programmer like give you a little bit of code to do things. And then there's I mean, there's gallery, there's Flickr, there's images, so you can try to create a little so what I want to say, a little gallery of images. You can, if you want people to subscribe to your newsletter, they've this particular theme has a MailChimp. But I was going to, right here, text. Text is one that you will use a lot because text well, for instance, that's where I have my subscriber. Let's see here. So, on this particular theme, I have I can have sidebars, footers, above content, below content, header widgets. So there's a whole bunch of different places that I can put widgets. Okay. Now the text widget is, or it's almost always in the text widget, is where you can put, like when you go to my site, if you go to Mirelli, probably not on the home page. Let's see here. I don't have any on my home page, but let's go to Resource Fair, I think. See this over here, where to subscribe to my newsletter? That's a widget. And so it hooks into my Aweber mailing list, and I actually created this form on Aweber, and then I copied the form into a text widget and put it on the page. I know that probably sounds like gobbledygook, but honestly, once you start playing with it, you'll say, oh, I see how that works. And these are other, subscribe to the blog. That's a widget. Donate is a widget. And then I also have a widget that pulls in, a lot of you, if you're a member of Mirelli, you get the daily motivational emails. Well, I also have a widget that pulls in that email every day. So, and I think I do 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I have a rolling 10 always available on there. But that's a widget that pulls that in. Okay. So widgets add a lot of functionality to the actual pages on your site. Okay. Now, another great thing, once you kind of think about, and widgets are the kind of thing that you use for a little bit, and then you can it's kind of how you can keep your site fresh, is, have some widget areas that you can put a special offer, or you can feature something, or, the widget you can take on and off pretty easily, right? It doesn't affect the site at all. It affects the site, but it doesn't affect any of the underlying of the site. And you can have it there for a little bit of time, take it off, put it back on. So widgets are very useful. Then the other thing, so let's see here, customize widgets, menus. Okay, so you definitely want to think about your menu. The menu is just basically how you arrange the pages and what pages can people get to, right? And again, every theme is going to be a little bit different. But on this one, you can manage locations. And I don't remember, I know I have it across the top, but let's see what other options they give me for my menu. So I can put it at the top. I can do primary, which is, on the theme. Or I could have it at the very, very top, or I could have it down in the footer. All right, I am using, and obviously I've changed my menu at least 3 times because I've on menu 3 now. But you decide what pages you want on your menu, right? So over here is a list of all the pages that you've created in your site. You could also, like if there's specific posts, like that you've put in your blog that you want to be available in the menu on the front page, you can choose a post. I've got a plugin, which I'll show you in a minute, where I list all my member businesses. If I wanted to feature, say I wanted to feature Donna and Isogenics, I could pull her out and put her in the menu. different products. I have a plugin that hooks into Eventbrite, so I can feature different events on my menu. I've got landing pages. I've got different kinds of. These are all plugins and other kinds of things that I'll show you in a second. But it's really just what order do you want things? Like the blog. I don't have a single page that's a blog, but blog is a category. So to make that available on my menu and not feature a specific blog, but just go to all my blog posts, I set the category blog. And so anything that has category blog in my blog will, can get access through there. So these are mostly pages. But you can move things and move them out, right? Like you could go, you know what? I don't want Marie Talks on there anymore. Or I want it to be a sub item. If I made it a sub item, then it creates a drop down menu on your menu. A drop down menu. Yeah, it creates a drop down on your menu. That's what I want to say. But let's say I don't want this anymore. I could just remove it. Like, I don't want to talk about Marie Talks anymore, and it's gone. And then if you go back up here, oh, did I not save? Well, I probably don't really want to save it, but if I go back to if I go back to the site now, Marie Talks won't be there, but I don't want to save it because I want it there. So let's go somewhere else. I'm going to leave without making changes. Yes. And that's the thing. It will always ask you, like if you try to leave a page and you haven't saved something, it will remind you that you haven't saved. And you can just back out of stuff, right? And WordPress does auto save. And so you can go back after but for the most part, you don't need to, right? Because if you don't want to save those changes, just back out and it goes right back to where it was. So let's go back down. All right, so any questions so far? Donna, Mary? Hi, is that Cynthia Green, Corey Green? Who's here? Who's C Green? I don't know.
Hey, it's Michelle Green. That's just the name I have for.
Okay. All right. You got any questions going forward?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Donna, what about you?
Is there like where you can keep track of your history for visitors?
For visitors.
Right.
Well, okay. So, I mean, yes, you can hook in Google Analytics, right? So you can get all the reports. But for me, and again, the different themes will have different options. But for me, I very quickly use this thing up here called Site Stats.
Site Stats, okay.
And you'll get, it'll be in your back office. There will be a thing where you can set up. I use a service called Jetpack because Jetpack actually, I think they have a service called Publicize that I think is the best way to connect to social media sites. But here's like my, my visitor history, right? Here's who's been here. Here's the pages that they've been looking at. And did they come from search engine or did they come from social media? Now they don't give you specific people. Now, on Google Analytics, you can set it up so that they track their IP address.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can back into, oh, that same person has been here like 8 times. But, you don't get to see the actual people. But they might leave you comments or give you feedback. and then you can know that they were there. Yeah, or the contact form. So yeah, I mean, you definitely get to see your stats. Anything
I do
else?
have,
Can
do
you
you
hear me?
have your page linked to like Pinterest or any other social media, anything like that?
Yep, I do.
I do. I have mine listed on my site, and there's some kind of way that you can plug in Pinterest so it can, tell you how many people you're getting from Pinterest or whatever. So I thought I followed the steps, and evidently I didn't do it right. So
Okay.
that's what I want to go back and do. And I was just wondering if you've done it, is it something simple you could show real quick?
You know what? I haven't done Pinterest.
Oh, okay.
But there's a service up here called Feed Them Social.
Mhm.
And let me see if wants me to clear the cache. So, but this is feeding in my Facebook.
Okay.
And okay, it's cleared. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I'd have to go out and look, but this service, this Feed Them Social, it's available for Pinterest. It was really easy to set up for Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know what service you're using.
WordPress.
Well, yeah, this is all WordPress, but WordPress itself, you probably pulled in a plugin to do it. Okay, then that's the next thing we're going to talk about. To pull in different functionality, you use plugins. Okay, so let's just take a look for, let's say I wanted to start pulling in Pinterest. Okay, so I would go into plugins. Let's see if it'll open. And let's search for Pinterest. Pinterest. Okay, well, there's the Feed 'em Social. So Feed 'em Social, the one that I'm using, that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest.
Okay.
So that one works, and that one I've only set it up for Facebook, but it pulls out. It actually duplicates my business page from Facebook here on the website.
Okay.
Okay, but they've got social media sharing. They've got Pinterest pin it button, Press, WordPress social sharing, TechGrass, Pinterest Master. So any of those, you kind of have to read them. Like here's your Pinterest feed, right? It says this is the Pinterest album gallery plugin, allows you to showcase your Pinterest images. So it depends on what you want. But there are obviously options available for you, right? So you would look at those. So that's what plugins do. Plugins are specific code that developers have created that you can you can plug in to your WordPress site to get it to do just about anything. So a lot of these things over here in my dashboard are plugins. Okay, so like businesses, like this is how I create business directory. Like when I've got my member directory, it is a plugin called All Business, right? That just happens to be the plugin I use. I do Eventbrite events. Again, that was a plugin that gives me a feed from Eventbrite that I can put on my website. Just events was another one that kind of helped me create events on the website. Table press. Table press is somehow how you can create graphs and tables very easily on, you know, like on a blog post and you want a table, you can use Table Press versus, you know, my memberships, I use a plugin, no software called Paid Memberships Pro. And so that's how I manage all my membership options, right? So that gives me, you know, that's how you guys as members can get in and create your login, and I can manage payments, and I can give you content that's from members only versus public. That membership plugin manages all of that for me. Landing pages. Landing pages is a plugin that when I want to just create a one-page landing page in front of my home page, so I can give you a special code, and when you go to Mirelli, you only see the landing page. This is the plugin that allows me to do that. Inbound forms. Again, I think I didn't like, and I don't know on which page it was, but I didn't like the form that came with the theme. So I found a plugin that gave me different kinds of forms, which is that one. Now, WooCommerce. WooCommerce is a plugin that creates a storefront, right? It's how you can sell things in a store format. So I've got a WooCommerce plugin that I can plug in Mirelli products and different member products, and I actually have a store. And I'm actually working on that right now. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be opening up the Mirelli store to the world, but it's in development right now, so I'm working on that. And the products here are part of the WooCommerce. Let's see.
So
Go ahead.
I've been typing questions on the chat thing. I don't know if you can.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still a little confused about the landing pages. What's the difference between landing page and the home page?
A landing page is just a one single page. It usually doesn't link to anything else. It's just one front page.
Okay.
It's usually a special offer. Landing pages typically are only there to gather information, right? It's usually a subscribe to this newsletter or get this new free gift, limited time only.
Okay.
That landing page is just a one single page.
And the inbound form again, what was that?
Inbound form is it was something that on some form, on one of my pages, I didn't like the standard form. I wanted something prettier and fancier. So I put a plugin in to create a different kind of form.
So if my current website is out there on another platform, is there a way that I can like copy and paste elements of it into WordPress, or no? I got to start from scratch.
Well, actually, you can. I mean, a programmer can back up your site and then upload it into WordPress.
Because I know that I think GoDaddy's offering a type of WordPress as an option, but it's not. I don't think it's the full blown like what you're showing us.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, so it may be a question for them, but a programmer can, because I know they can go from Wix to WordPress. I honestly don't know from GoDaddy to WordPress, but that might be a simple, just a Google search. Can you transfer a GoDaddy website to WordPress and see what they say? My guess is that yes, you can download the code and then a programmer could upload it into a WordPress.
So is it something where I got to negotiate with GoDaddy that I need the code? No. That's just
I don't think so. I mean, I think you can get to you, because I know in GoDaddy you have a section like manage the DNS, and so I know there are some ways to get to the code.
Okay.
I'm not a programmer, so I can't do it, but I think there's a way you can do it.
Okay, and in the
GoDaddy
beginning,
may actually provide that service, honestly.
Okay, yeah, right. And then, yeah, it costs a lot though, I think. But anyway, the, about your blog, the blog page, I think
Yeah.
near the beginning you said something like, you know, at a minimum, have home, about, services, contact us. But is your blog page kind of separate? Because in the very beginning of how to edit, you said you choose either blog or, you remember that tab?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, your posts, and I'm like going, where are my posts? Let me see here.
You choose a initial page versus a blog, and it's like,
Right. Yeah, like, and I'm just trying to find the blog over here is going to be called posts. And see, I've got so much stuff over here. It's like, where are my posts? Like, I don't have any posts left.
oh, there it is.
There it is. Posts. Okay, so my posts, yeah, and I'll just look, yeah, because if you're going to create a blog, these are your blog posts.
Okay, so that's under posts. Okay.
Right. Yeah, all of your blog stuff is under post, and so let's just pull this one up. Just very quickly. So here's what a blog post page looks like, maybe. It'll get there, it'll get there.
Is this how you go behind the scenes to edit the post?
Pardon?
Is this how you go behind the scenes to edit a blog before you publish it?
Yes, this is where it would be, and again, the same kind of thing with the page. You know, you have your headline, your text. I would have thought that I had a photo, but I'm not seeing it. It may pop in here in a minute. But then over here, over on the right-hand side is where you put your, you know, you can change your URL. You can add your categories and your tags. If you notice on my categories, one of my categories is going to be blog, so that it can show up in the menu, you know, somewhere
Right.
in there. Tags are much like your keywords. Now, one thing that I do, let's see here. This was, okay, so I also have a plugin called Instant Article. And so it basically will take my blog posts, and Instant Article sends them to a whole list of different websites that are always looking for content.
Oh, wow.
So it's just a way to share content. So that, again, that's a plugin over here somewhere called Instant Article.
So like if I wrote a blog and I want to put it on my LinkedIn page, Facebook, blah, 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 this will help you do it.
It will, but there's also a, up here, let me see if I can. All right, so having the,
I know we're going past 1 o'clock now. I don't know if that's.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you know, I mean, also once you write it here, I use a service, and it's probably up here in Jetpack. Let's see here. Very quickly, let me show you. If I can get there. But yeah, we'll wrap this up, and then we'll do a you know, a number 2 later. Okay, yeah, not going to show me, but I use a little service, and it's through Jetpack called it's called Publicize.
Mhm.
And when I'm in Publicize, I can actually get everything to automatically go into Facebook, automatically go to LinkedIn, automatically go to Medium, automatically go to Pinterest, automatically go to Tumblr. I think, I think it has like maybe 12 or 13 different places
Yeah.
that all I have to do is one time, and that's where it goes. So, so real quickly before I let you go, I mean, this is just WordPress 101, right? Is I want to show these three things: users, tools, and settings. Okay, so users, these are your who can get in the site, what are their usernames and what are their passwords, right? Like, who are the admins? Like for me, I've got subscribers. You guys, all of you members are out there, subscribers, because you all have access to, in different levels kind of thing. But you can go in here as an administrator. See, I've got 125 people still with active access out there. Or I can be just, whoever the administrator is. Who's me. But this is where you can control, so you can give people different kinds of access and different roles. So knowing about users is good, because you can add new, you can destroy, and you can create your own profile kind of thing. Actually, tools is not that important, but settings. All right, so settings. When you first get into WordPress, you're going to want to go through some of these settings. So very quickly, let's look at a couple of them. General, obviously, your site title, if you have a tagline, what is, the address, very important. Email address, what email, like when you have forms or, security notices or whatever, what email do you want to get communication from your website to, right?
Mhm.
So I've got info, what time zone are you in? How do you want your dates formatted, time formatted, that kind of thing. And right down here, when you first, I said when you first start, you're going to have a blank page that says, website coming soon.
Mhm.
No matter what you do in your back office, you can think you've got a great site. It will always be saying coming soon until you go into settings and you go down here and you turn off your coming soon page. It'd be funny how so many people are like going, why can't someone see my site? It's like, go into settings, go all the way down, turn off your coming soon page.
Okay.
So, just one of those little things that is kind of funny. In writing, let's see here.
I think you've answered most of my questions, but
Okay.
what were the colored circles on the right of your screen on the Pages tab in the dashboard? Is that just different importance?
No, okay, so one of the plugins that I use, and you can see it up here, actually, it's called SEO Yoast, or Yoast SEO. You know what? Well, yeah. So very quickly, let's go into the plugins. And again, I have a lot of plugins because I play with the site, but SEO Yoast is great. Let me see if I can get down. Yoast SEO right here. Okay, so what Yoast does is it analyzes your page for SEO, search engine optimization. Okay, I will never publish a page or a post that's not green. right? That I don't have a green OK from Yoast. And I could do a whole training on Yoast, okay? But Yoast basically says, do you have a keyword that you're focused on? Is your keyword in your first paragraph? Is your keyword in your last paragraph? Do you have headings? Do you have images? Are there captions or alt text with your images? It analyzes the language that you use. You know, it does the Flesher reading scale, and it'll say, you know what, you are, you know, fifth grade reading level, or it'll say, you know, you are college level reading level, you know, it's not accessible to most people, you know, it analyzes your word choice, and it'll say too many run-on sentences, or, you know, I mean, it analyzes your writing. And so it gives you suggestions on how to make your writing better. So Yoast is definitely worth it. I mean, well, it's free, so it's worth it, right? One thing that you always have to have with WordPress is you have to have some sort of spam shield, some sort of spam blocker, because there are bots out there who want to just spam every site. So I use Spam Shield on Amazing Speaks. I have one called Word Fence. That seems to work pretty well, but you definitely have to have some sort of spam blocker. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to these settings real quick. Let me just run through like these 4 or 5, because there's a couple interesting things that people miss that just.
In the settings side, is that where you can actually put your name? Because, like, for me, every time I make a post, mine says admin, and I cannot figure out how I can put my name on there. And I saw that you had yours as true. Would you be able to show that?
That's in your user.
Users.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in users, you can definitely set yourself up, but there may be a couple other places where you can make it, where you can do it too. But it would definitely be in here. Make sure you've got your name, of your username. Let me see here.
So under administrator, make sure my name is there.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you
Okay.
have a name in. Because if you don't have a name in, it's going to default to administrator. But make sure
Okay.
you have a name in.
Thanks.
Let's go back down to settings. So righty, greedy, you know, you got to look at all of these, but let me go into maybe discussion. You know, and, you know, you got to kind of read over them, and, you know, anyone can post a comment, but you hold it for moderation. Like, that's what I chose to do, because, and manually approve comments, because when you just open it up, people can make comments about all kinds of stuff that has nothing to do with it. So I have to make sure that listen to it, so I look at every comment. Okay. And if I have a comment pending, see right over here where it says comments, I would have a little red box there that says I have comments waiting to be moderated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any right now, so yeah, but you can blacklist people so you can't talk to me anymore. Gravatars, you know, that's one of those things that you can, you know, there's a service out there called Gravatar, so you can put your picture. I need to go out and update my photo. You know, do I allow people to follow my blog? Yes. Can they follow comments? Yes. But you can take, you know, these are settings, so you can turn them on or turn them off, right? That's why you kind of need to go through each one of the settings and make sure that you are. There was one setting in particular that I wanted to point out. Not finding it. Let me see here. May have been in writing and I didn't go down. So your home page. I mean, blog posts. Nope. All right, Donna, you have any other questions to get started?
None at this time.
All right.
So the main difference between a widget and a plugin is,
A widget is on page functionality. It changes what happens on the page.
okay,
The plugin is for the entire site. I mean, the widget makes changes on a page. The plugin makes changes for the entire site or certain functionality for the site.
okay. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, yep, I think we're going to call it a day there. But as you think about it, if there is, if you have specific questions that you kind of want to go over, then get with me and we will, you know, take it from there. But thank you guys for jumping on.
Thank you.
We have categories and themes to search for. Yeah, now I'm seeing the comments, so let's just see here. Okay. Okay. I think I answered pretty much everything there. All right. Well, then we're going to call it a day, and thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, just reach out and let me know.
All right. Thank
All
you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Talk to you later. Hey, Michelle, are you good?